About that. Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of this podcast with me, Carl Maloney, the host of this RGM thing. How are you doing? You all right? Ladies and gentlemen, I've not seen this little face in a while, and I wanted to catch up with none other than Sam Shiner. Hi, mate.
Hello, Carlos.
Yeah, how we doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Very, very well, thank you. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. We shouldn't really be saying it now, should we? It's a bit
It's
too
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 late, isn't
far
it?
into the year.
Done. It's
But
done
yeah,
now.
we just need to crack into January now, don't we?
Well, officially, we're over halfway through the
Yes.
month. That's
Yeah.
the 16th. Yeah, so and little daffodils are popping up everywhere. So some
Nice.
snowdrops. So
Nice.
spring is on the
It's
horizon.
on the it's on the way. It's on the way. Now I wanted to catch up with you again because I think the last time we had a chat it was episode 10, and we're in the 70s now.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah, it
I'm
was
doing
a while ago. 18
yeah
months.
yeah, probably a year and a half or something like that. And I've actually seen you in real life a couple of times since then, which has been nice.
Yeah, well, so you did you came to the RAS, didn't you? Off the
Into the
spot.
Raz.
Yeah.
Yeah, we came down, had a little chat with the boys, and got to see him live for the first time. That was nice.
What did you think?
I leather jackets always put me off a band.
That's Jordan, our guitarist.
Is it
Uh,
fair enough?
he's a leather jacket connoisseur.
Great live band, though, mate. Nice one. Good choice.
Yeah,
Well, I know
really.
that when we had a first chat on the podcast, and you can listen back to episode 10, guys, if you're delving into the archives. But yeah, they kind of like found you because they saw your presence online as this person that supports loads of new music and being an ambassador for new music that you are, if people are new to you. And then this band kind of like corralled you into managing them, didn't they? And you're still
They're
there.
not daft today. They're not daft. Yeah, still here 18 months later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got, well, I wouldn't say it's going to be a busy-ish year this year because they're recording their second album, which is going to be a lot of work and a lot of studio time. So
Yeah.
kind of this year is going to be heads down, and we were hoping to get it released this autumn, but it's looking unlikely with getting vinyl produced and stuff. So it's probably going to be beginning of
Ah,
2024. So this
okay.
year is focusing on that and obviously putting in the work
Yeah.
that one has to in releasing an album, which is going to be a new
Yeah.
thing for me, but I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I know, yeah. Well, you've been to, since saw your little face in real life. For the last year or so, you've been out there supporting the music industry through all the trials and tribulations that's going on out there in the world. It's a difficult place, the creative industry, at the best of times, and the last 12 months, even post COVID, there's always been challenges that keep creeping up and making it difficult for everybody. And we brought out, and thanks for sharing it as well on your social, Sam. We brought out
I was just about
a
to
little
play the
thing.
BBC thing. I
Yeah,
need to read it. Like, yeah, it doesn't
yeah.
sound good.
Well,
But it's so big.
basically,
So
what I've kind of found out about it is that the BBC are cutting costs. It looks like, and it looks like they're going to be potentially laying off the BBC introducing presenters and changing BBC introducing, instead of being a local show for local people, it's going to be a national thing. So there's always been a national element to it, but it's going to lose the local side of it, which is the most
shame.
important part for me, the local side of things.
Yeah, because BBC introducing does so much for so many upcoming bands and artists. And
Yeah,
whenever a band gets played for local BBC introduction, it's such a major thing for like an
yeah,
upcoming artist or a band. Like it's kind of like your first step into into the music scene. You get played on BBC
yeah.
introducing. So yeah, that'd be a real crime shame if that happens.
Well, as soon as I saw it, I just had to make this video because I knew just by sending a few messages out to people would instantly get on board with it because just of how much it supports it. There was an interesting element to doing that because I must have, in fact, I got done off Facebook for sending too many messages out, on Messenger. So it was like I was spamming people because I think I sent about 50 messages out to people, like people in bands that I knew on Facebook, and it said I couldn't send anymore. But like straight away, like I ended up getting about 20, 25 of them, sent me a video straight away, and I got it out straight away. And this
Oh,
video on YouTube, so you can have a look. But there was a big percentage of, and just for the purposes of balance, the BBC is always about balance. A big high percentage of those people that replied said, not bothered. They've not shown me any support at all. That have come back, so I'm not bothered about making a video, which was a bit of an eye opener. As well. So they do help a lot of
yeah,
people, but
yeah. They
there's
have not.
probably still a bit more they can do as well.
Yeah, I don't think it's easy because I think we did when the RAS released tracks and stuff, tried to get it on BBC Introducing and didn't really have much luck. But
Mm.
yeah, so I think it's quite it's difficult to get music on there. But still what they do, it's still that whole local element and
Yeah.
people tuning in and the local presenters picking local bands and stuff. To take that away is going to be a bit rubbish.
It is going to be a bit rubbish. It is going to be a bit rubbish. But I think particularly some of the bands that I sent message to, they're probably, you know, thinking about it. They're probably not ready, or they don't have high quality enough records to be able to play on the BBC as well. There's an element of that because, you know, I want everybody to get BBC stuff. And probably some of the recordings that we send over can be a bit rough and ready. You'll know that from receiving music on the radio and stuff, won't you? And
Yeah.
you can't play everything that you, and I'm sure they're inundated and there's not enough hours in the show to be able to play everything as well. So from their side of things, I get it. You know, they're not going to be able to play everything, but there's a lot of disappointed bands out there that just, you know, would love to be on that platform.
Yeah,
Which just shows how much of a loss it is going to be. It is, like you say, just one of those places. Like it's one of the first rungs in it of being in a band, like getting on the BBC, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I found even going back years, I remember I used to go to Reading and like go the BBC introducing stages and stuff as well, with all local talent on, and like seeing some. I think I remember seeing Jake Bugg on there, like, talking years and years ago before Jake Bugg was even big. But just be a shame it all becomes kind of nationalised and there's not. Yeah, it's a shame.
Proper shame.
If you think about kind of like Radio X, it was XFM
Yeah.
with Manchester, that was very much a local Manchester station until it was taken over by Global. And obviously Radio X is great. I like listening to Radio X now and again, but it just loses that kind of like personal feel, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's too much of that, isn't there? You know, that like the heartbeat of things get. I've got a little message to talk about trying to be more positive, Sam, because you're a really positive person, and I feel like I'm just a right grumpy bastard that just like always moaning about stuff. So I've got a question about that later. You know, I want some tips from you to be more positive, Sam Shiner.
Oh, do you know what? Funnily enough, my friend bought me. I'll lend you this, Carl. Oh God, it's my friend bought me this for. Was it my birthday?
Yeah.
It's positivity for every day.
Oh, okay. What is it? Like a little book?
Yeah, it's a little book with like little things that you can do.
Okay.
Make yourself feel more positive and better, like exercises and going out walking and breathing exercises.
Breathing. That's a good one. That's always a benefit.
Little inspirational positive quotes. So
well, give us a couple then, Sam. Why not? Let's make use of them. I've been going to the gym every day this month, so I'm doing that.
Let me find a good one. Hold on.
I'll put you on the spot a little bit there, I suppose, Hunter.
If you listen to this, if your ship doesn't come in, swim out to it.
Yeah, make an effort, I suppose.
Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. Oh dear, I've not actually read this yet. Oh dear, but yeah, it's what it's just just little things you can do to make yourself happy, and little pop has happy quotes.
Have you always been just a happy, positive person?
Well, I think so. Yeah, I do have my moments. Yeah. I do have my bad moods, but I tried.
I just can't see you in a bad mood. I don't know, like just from seeing you in real life and just chatting to you and just having a laugh with you on Twitter and that. I just can't. I can't see.
When my alarm went off this morning, I was not a happy person.
Oh, okay, fair enough. What did you use, like a swear word in that?
Yes, no, I didn't really. I just got. No, it's a Blue Monday today, isn't it? So.
Oh yeah.
What they call the most depressing day of the year.
Well, it's I know just from my personal point of view, it's been a long few weeks since I've been paid. It's been like 5 or 6 weeks or something like that, because you get paid early in Christmas, don't you? And then January is just like, I'm just waiting to get paid type of thing.
Same. I got my blinking car in for MOT and service on Friday as well, before payday. So I'm like, please. And it sounds a little bit growly as well. So I'm like, oh bloody hell. So I'm like, please.
all that positivity might crash down on Friday. And
who has their car in for service in January before?
Well, I can remember last time I spoke to you, I was very, very hungover. I'd been to see The Blinders in Manchester. And I can just remember it ended up being a right late one, you know, like one of them naughty 4 o'clock, like staying out things. And you're up in the morning and think, oh, I'm talking to Sam in a bit, rushing about all in it is. But we covered a lot of ground with it, really. We covered the Ras, we covered all your endeavors as a music personality and somebody out there loving you were DJing for This Feeling, you know, going to loads of festivals and that kind of stuff, weren't you?
Yeah.
How's this year looking for you?
Well, I've got to try and not spend so much money this year.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna try and keep my gigs as local as possible. But I
Yeah.
do have quite a few, yeah, a few gigs lined up
Mm.
over the next couple of months. And hopefully festivals. I'll probably just do one festival with This Feeling this year
Yeah.
if they ask me,
Yeah.
that is. Because although they pay me a little bit to do the DJing, I
Mm.
spend like £800 over the weekend. So I'm like, yeah. So I'll probably only do one maybe this year. So yeah,
I
it's
find
gonna
that.
be a more chilled affair this year, Carl.
Yeah, 'cause I know what you mean because when I cover Tramlines Festival every year, and you know you're covering the festival, so it's just like you get like a press pass, which is nice. But then you end up and you're there for 4 days, so then you end up spending sometimes £100 a day, depending on how naughty you've been, and you know, and see it's easy when you're buying food all day and drinks and enjoying yourself and
It so goes.
traveling about and that and the hotels and you can easily chuck a few quid away, can't you, at these
Oh
things?
God, definitely. I can remember at this, not it was not last year's Isle of Wight. It was the one in September 21. They had this cocktail bar right outside this feeling tent, and I was just going out buying porn star martinis for £10 a pop.
Yeah.
I think I was buying like 10 a day, and that's just cocktails. And I was like, check my credit card when I got home. And I was like, oh my God, that's got to stop. When I've had a few drinks, I'm like, yeah, Rich, just put it on credit card, it's fine. So yeah, no, I'm going to be much more. That's my resolution this year, to be much more
Yeah.
sensible, yeah, much more sensible with money, and yeah, just lots of gigs in Bristol, which is easy because I can go there and come home the same night. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Wiltshire, isn't it? You are. So whereabouts is where is Wiltshire? I get mixed up with my shires down south. Is it near Bath?
It's very near Bath. Yeah, I live about 15-20 minutes from Bath.
Oh dear.
From
Oh,
Bath.
I know. I only said it because I know that's how you say it. I call it Bath.
Bath. And you're up north, you say Bath, don't you?
I've been to Bath once, and it was right. I went to Bristol on my 40th birthday, and then I thought it was really close to Stonehenge, so I thought, right, we'll buy tickets for Stonehenge, and it's about 100 miles away in it.
Yeah, so Stonehenge is in Salisbury. So yeah, it's quite a way. I suppose it's probably about an hour and a half on the train from
Oh, yeah, it took about 3 hours in car to get there. I thought Bristol near Stonehenge for some reason, and I'd booked tickets for Stonehenge for us all to go and see it because I fancied it.
Oh
And,
no.
we were hungover, and I had to get out of the car and be sick in a posh estate somewhere near Bath.
Oh no.
That's my only memory of Bath.
You've gone to Avebury, that's closer.
Oh, is it? Right.
Avebury's got loads of the big stones like Stonehenge, just not
Oh,
as well
okay.
known.
Yeah, yeah, but it's nice. It seems nice down there, mate.
Yeah, it's very. I'm very lucky actually, very fortunate. I've got lots of. As you know, I love going out walking,
Hmm.
lots and taking up Lila. So I'm really lucky. We've got so many like stunning places to walk. So lots more of that this year as well. I'm going to get my steps in.
Yeah, well, I can remember. I see your socials all the time. You know, just like just beautiful scenery. Where do you live? You? It's like I don't know, it's like off a film or something.
I know. Yeah. So Shearwater and Stourhead, they're like like national trust places. That they're just. It's like I don't know, like Lord of the Rings or something. Like on a beautiful day, like you walk around, it's just literally breathtaking. So yeah, very very lucky.
Oh, nice one, mate. Nice one, mate. And I love watching the success of your radio show, mate.
Oh, thanks.
Is that one of the? It feels like it might be. I'm just going on a vibe here. Is that one of your favorite things you like to do?
I loved him. Yes, I love it. It's my favourite hour of the weekend on a Sunday because I get all my little regular listeners tuned in, which is lovely. And yeah, we just have a little giggle for an hour. And I'm very well known for, well, I don't think I've ever done a show without making a mistake at some point. And I go in all confident every weekend and something, and I'll get the songs the wrong way around, or I'll accidentally press play when I'm trying to talk. But yeah, no, it's lovely. And I did my charity one on the
Yes.
29th of December, which was just unbelievable, to raise money for Faith and Taro, the singer-songwriter. It was just, yeah, it was just such an experience. Like I thought to myself, I'd do a 12-hour show, wasn't really sure like who would tune in, but had loads of listeners all day, right the way up to midnight. And some people listened to the entire thing, started
12 hours, Sam, though.
midday and stayed for 12 hours listening along. So it was great. We raised loads of awareness, loads of money, and it was
Yeah.
just a really nice thing to do. So yeah, it was great. But no, I do love it, Carl. It's a
Yeah.
nice little hobby to have on a Sunday.
Great. It's great. And are people still able to donate now for that?
Yeah, so Faye has a brain tumor,
Hmm.
which is not treatable in the UK. So she's in America now to start her trial, but she's only raised half of the money. So she needs to raise like, oh God, something crazy, like £450,000. So she's raised half of that. But they still need to raise the other half. And I think if they don't do it, they'll probably have to end up selling their sort of family home to pay for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Faye Fantaro, she's F Fantaro on Twitter, or you can just type her name in. She's got a Just Given page. So yeah, everyone was so generous when I was doing my show as well. Like one person donated like £600, and I was just like, oh my God, that's just so generous. And she's a lovely girl, only 20 years old. So it's really sad.
That's amazing. In the description of this podcast, we'll put a link to that Just Giving if people want to
Thanks.
donate.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, what's going on? What do you see in and around the music industry at the minute, Sam? What's exciting you about this year, and what's I don't know. I'm being a bit cynical again. What any trepidation about this year at all?
No, I don't think so. I think
Nothing at all.
I
It's
so.
just tell me to bollocks, Sam. It's just what I'm like.
I mean, like you said, it's. I think in this upcoming scene, it's always going to be a slog. Where if you're putting on gigs, if you're a promoter putting on gigs, if you're a band trying to sell them push tickets, it's always going to be a slog. But I think it just kind of makes the scene what it is. I think it makes the bands passionate and they work so hard. It just means that they just get more out of it after. But no, I'm seeing loads of events being put on. People selling out gigs, like the Rars sold out their gig on Friday, which we did
Wow.
not expect at all this time of year. Obviously January, everyone's doing dry January, and just after Christmas, so we didn't expect that at all, and it sold out. So yeah, I think people are still going to gigs, and I know this cost of living crisis is a bit of a nightmare. So I think people are going to be reining in a little bit. I think that's maybe the issue.
Yeah.
Have to see how that goes, but yeah, I think it's going to be a good year for music.
Yeah, I'd
Lots of
like to.
people I'm looking forward to seeing this year.
What's that, mate?
I said there's lots of bands and stuff I'm looking forward to seeing this
Yeah.
year.
Okay. So who are you looking forward to see then? Just talk us through.
So
Spread some love out there.
so the one I'm looking forward to seeing the most is well, a kind of a band. It's kind of a solo project with a band. They're called Wonder Horse,
Ooh.
and they're from London. And oh my God, Carl, so good. My favorite album from last year. So they're playing in Bristol in April, which I can't wait for. And my next gig, I've got Heavy North in London. I've got Reverend and the Makers in Bristol.
I'm gonna their Sheffield gig and
Ooh, that'd be good.
Manchester and probably the Manchester one as well if I can blag a ticket for it.
Oh, that'd be good. You should get a press pass for it.
Well, I'm going to ask for the Manchester one, but I've already bought one for the Sheffield one.
Oh, have you? Oh, Sheffield would be great. Yeah, they're such a good band live, aren't they? Like,
they're amazing. They're amazing. I just had John on the podcast, and he was just telling me about.
Oh, I just saw, didn't I? I just retweeted it.
Yeah, so and he was telling us about it. My favorite part of the chat was just talking to the front cover of the album when he's walking about with a camel.
Oh, yeah,
He was walking about Sheffield with a camel, and he was doing a photo shoot, and the album covers him with a camel.
Yeah, I know, I've seen it. But their new sound is really like chilled out and soulful, isn't it? Someone said to him, someone compared him to Sheffield's own Barry White.
Oh, did they? Okay, that's nice. That's nice.
But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. It's always a good night, and it's a Friday night in Bristol, so we've got a few friends going along.
So you've just listed 5 or 6 gigs there within like 3 weeks, Sambo. So is that slowing down? Is it? Are you preaching? Are you doing what you're preaching?
Yeah.
What you're saying?
Well, to be fair, the only one outside of Bristol is Heavy North, and the rest of them are all going to be midweek gigs. So I'll just literally just go drive, watch the gig, and come home. So that doesn't really count. It's when I keep going to different cities every weekend and flying about and getting trains and hotels and stuff. That's where it's a bit irresponsible.
Well, it's hard, isn't it? Particularly on trains these days, because they've gone to shit and there's lots of strikes and stuff. It's go on back to being cynical again. It doesn't take me long, does it? Jesus.
No, it has been rubbish though. Like the amount of train journeys that were disrupted last year, the amount of waiting around and train cancellations, sat in cold train stations is not fun, especially when you're paying like 150, £200 for a ticket. Yeah, it's not good. But yeah, hopefully they'll, because I
Yeah.
think with the trains, it's not just the pay, it's the working conditions. They want to get rid of all the staff on the trains.
Yeah.
They want to get rid of the train managers, the catering.
And
But I
the
think if you
government wants to stop people being able to strike because that's convenient for them. Which is,
yeah. But no, I think it's more about the conditions that they want.
yeah.
That's what they're striking over, and the big changes they want to make. They just, it's all like, if you want to talk to the train manager, it's nice to have someone available, right? You wouldn't just get on a train with no one on it, would you? Weird.
Yeah, I
So,
saw that in the news earlier when, people like not necessarily feeling safe quite late at night if you're traveling back from a gig or whatever on a train, and there's only you on the train, and there's, I don't know, some dodgy person.
oh God, that's like a
Like,
horror movie, isn't it? I'm
yeah.
pretty sure I've seen a horror movies like that before. Yeah, no,
But
it's
yeah,
not.
it's got to be safe. And one thing I definitely wanted to talk to you about, because I had Laura Horton on a previous episode. She's really passionate about gigs like yourself.
I love
And
Laura.
yeah, she's great. And we had a really good chat about, safe gigs for women. As a woman going to all these gigs and experiencing it, how do you feel that whole thing is?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've had my own experience and stuff at gigs
Yeah.
before. I think generally though, I do kind of feel safe. I think it's just when you throw like alcohol,
Mm,
busy space into the equation. I think a lot of the indie scene, it's a lot of boy bands and like sort of male, like populated crowds. So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, to be myself, I've always kind of felt safe when I go to gigs, especially like ones that this feeling put on, etc.
Mm.
But obviously you hear people, that band, what are they called? I saw them last year, all those allegations against them.
Mm.
And yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to not encourage people to go to gigs with the fear that something like that's going to happen.
When
But
we
there's
were
obviously
talking
that
to Laura about it,
underlying,
it's
yeah,
it's it's hard to like, as a promoter. I were talking about what I do at RGM, and on the invite to all the bands, the instructions basically for the gig, I just basically put in bold in red, just like, we're not accepting any we're not accepting any bad behavior at gigs. If you see anything, call it out, tell me, and I'll tell the security, and we'll just get it sorted as soon as we can.
yeah,
But it's difficult. You can't predict these things because you don't know if somebody's going to have too much to drink and just be an idiot. I was speaking to Rianne Downer, and she just said, if you're capable of doing that kind of thing, just don't fucking leave the house and don't go out.
yeah, safety.
So
Yeah.
all these things are easier said than done. You can't. I
Mm,
don't know. I generally don't know
no,
how it can be stopped when it needs to be. I don't know. I don't.
no, you do hear it as well. And you was talking about Rianne. I did a podcast. Who did we do the podcast with? Oh, it was this football podcast we did on. It was me, Rianne, Ruby J, and was it Megan Wynn? Oh, my memory's so bad, getting old, Carl.
I
But no,
mean,
we talked a lot about sort of women in the scene and women going to gigs and them as performers as well, like how they feel. Because obviously they're really young girls and talking about
yeah.
how they feel and sort of getting comments and people shouting at them and things like that. You've got to develop a thick skin at a really young age. But yeah, no, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because I think in a sad way it's always going to happen, but I suppose the more you talk about it and the more people are aware about it, then maybe they're kind of be more self-aware with
I
sort of
think there
how.
just needs to be a more conscious decision from people to call it out when they see it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then that can be dangerous too. So
Well,
that's
that's
a
the thing,
fine
isn't
line
it?
there too, isn't there?
Yeah, because you call something out, and then if it goes to court, whatever, you can be the one ending up in trouble. So,
Yeah.
to be honest, I think on my social media, I don't normally tend to sort of make a stand against, just because there's all
Mm,
that whole thing about libel and stuff
yeah.
like that. So it's just a
Mm.
difficult one, isn't it?
It's a sticky, messy one, but
Yeah, it is.
I just think in general, if more people are aware that there is problems there, and we try, all I can think of is to try and raise awareness of it. And
Yeah, definitely.
all the interviews that I do on RGM with bands, I've got the question and asking for people's advice, and nobody's got an answer. I don't think anybody's got an answer for it.
Well, that Safe Gigs for Women is great. Like what they
Yeah,
do is great, and they obviously work with promoters and events and stuff to make that like their symbol and
oh yeah,
their organization, make that visible to people. So I think if you see that at a gig, it's going to make you, I don't know, if you
yeah. Just think about it
make you a
more.
bit more conscious of what you're
Yeah.
doing. Yeah.
Well,
But yeah, no, it's a difficult one.
yeah. So the music industry, Sambo, the manager side of things. How have you seen it? Since since the last time I saw you in real life, a bit back, a year or so ago. You know, how has it been pushing the lads to the next level? I know they're selling tickets now. They've got an album planned. Any tips on keeping a band motivated and organized?
Um,
No, I can tell why you did
we
that
do
face.
have moments where we're a bit like a bit flat, but no, we've really WhatsApp group and we talk quite a
Yeah,
lot, and where the boys are very much like, I don't know, they'll see like a gig that they want to play on and they're like, oh Sam, just try and do that. And
yeah.
like we talk quite a lot. We have like Zoom meetings and stuff. So
Mm.
we had one last week, which was nice. And it was really nice to hear them talking so enthusiastically about the album. I was like, I've never heard you so enthusiastic before. And yeah, so it's just, I think it's just communication really, but we do talk a lot. And I saw them quite a bit last year as well. Like went out to loads of their gigs and stuff, loads of their support slots. So yeah, I think it's I think we feel like it's been 18 months now, so we feel more like a family and a team,
Yeah.
which is good.
Is there because I've been helping a band out, and the the dynamics within a band still and will always fascinate the whole journey of, you know, being in a band and making it, and but you know, doing gigs and following the journey and just the laugh it can be. Uh, the personalities within a band always strike me. There's always kind of a diva one. There's always one that's really quiet. There's always one that's lazy. There's always one that you can't find when they're out and about. They just stroll off somewhere. There's all the all these mixtures of people get together, get them on stage, and they can produce magic, can't you? I just love this whole.
That's so true.
Look at me being positive.
Yeah, that's so true. Like in our group, we've got the annoying one. No, I'm joking. They're all lovely, but we've got so Jack the singer. He's the swinger. So he
Oh,
as soon as there's a drink, he just swings on stuff, lampshades.
okay.
When we were out and I was teaching at Isle of Wight, he came and jumped on the DJ desk. I'm like, why does he just climbs on stuff? I got a video of one of them on a chandelier that
Yeah.
jumps in it and pulls it down from the hotel ceiling. So
Oh,
it's very rock and roll, Carl.
yes. Dangerous. Which one is the lazy one? I'm only joking. I've never asked.
Oh no,
I'd never asked you to say
really
that.
not. To be fair, I'm very lucky with them because they're
Yeah.
in terms of them being in band members, they're very professional, which is good. They take the band side of it really seriously,
Yeah.
and they're really passionate about it. So in that respect of it, it's good, and they're just great. So I can't wait for new music, but it's going to be a little while longer, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised there's not more grassroots music podcasts out there. So we're trying to do our little thing, and Scratch Record podcast, they're doing their thing. They're great. Talk Tonight do a little bit. They're another podcast out
Yeah,
there. I've seen you on a few podcasts. The grassroots music industry. Well, you know, just in regards to podcasts, I think there's a bit of work we can do just to encourage people to start one up, and we can all help each other out and try and grow this thing. I think is one
yeah,
area I'd
definitely.
like
I
to.
did a few with Northern Exposure. God, that was that last year or the year
Yeah.
before. I did a few, and I did like my own little podcast series during lockdown, which was fun. I did John Reverend and the Makers as well. That was one of my first ever podcasts. So
Yeah.
that was good fun. That seemed like 3 years ago. That's crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, no, I think everywhere. To be fair though, I look at social media now and it's grown massively. Like the support for the upcoming scene is, I think, is better than ever. And every single week when I do my show, there's always someone that will tune in and say like, oh, it's the first time I listened to your show and I absolutely loved it. And it's nice because yeah, I still think it's growing. I still think we're on to a new music revolution. I believe it.
Do you know who I think could do a right good podcast?
Who's that?
You.
Uh, do you know what, Carl? If I had more time, I would. I did do one. I did a series of loads and loads of bands during lockdown. Then I did one with Northern Exposure, and I got to interview some cool people.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love doing it, and I love chatting.
Maybe one day.
I used to always record them on a Sunday during lockdown, and we always just get a few bevies out.
Maybe one day, Sambo.
Honestly, I do so much more if I have more time, but my job's really busy at the moment as well, which is
okay. Well, yeah, there's always the day job, isn't there? You know, that thing that helps us pay the bills.
I know the I would say the 9 to 5, but it's more like the 8 till 6. You know, the daily grind. Yeah.
No, I get you. I do long hours, and on top of that, we're just doing RGM, and it just feels like now things are starting to like proper pick up again, and people are releasing music again after a bit of a break over Christmas and the New Year and that kind of stuff. It's always a nice upgrade. I always feel like I'm blagging it doing this RGM thing, Sambo. I always think, right, we had a decent year last year. People are going to find us out. People just aren't going to be bothered about contacting us anymore. It goes quiet over Christmas, and you think, right, that's it. Nobody's bothered anymore. And then now it's going mental again. I'm just like, oh yeah, people.
Honestly, I feel like that as well. Just winging everything I do. We're all winging it.
We are, aren't we? Well, I don't. Why do we feel like that in this industry? We
I think
don't really
everyone does,
deserve
don't they?
what we do.
Yeah, I know. I think that as well. Like every Sunday, I think, oh no, not many people are going to tune in, or I don't know, or not many people are going to retweet it or whatever. And then they do, and you just always, yeah, it's always self doubt, isn't there? Which is it's a silly way to be, isn't
It's a silly. It is as you say, Sam. It's a silly way to be.
But well done, though, Kai. It's good that you'll be busy.
Yeah, thank you. And you know, I kind of like because it's been a bit quieter over Christmas and New Year and stuff. I feel like I'm like, I don't know. I'm quite hard on myself sometimes because I just think like I'm not working. I always feel like I should be doing something. You know, when you're busy and you just do it all the time, and then things go quiet, and you think it just feels wrong that you're not doing something all the time, which is probably a bad thing in a way.
No, I completely relate to
You need
that.
to chill out. You need to chill out, don't you? Sometimes, but I find it really hard to chill out and down and not be doing anything.
Oh no, I think I've been okay with that the last couple of months. I've had to be. I've made I promised myself not to spend so much time on social media, to read more, to watch some TV, which I have been doing actually with Christmas. I had a really like I think over the Christmas week I did binged watched his Dark Materials from start to finish, which was really nice, just to chill out watching TV. Like I never do that, but you should try it, Carl. It's good.
I know. I do try it, because I watch quite a lot of telly and that, but when somebody asks me a question about what I've just watched, because I'm on my computer doing fucking RGM emails all the time, I don't know. I think, oh yeah, I've seen that program, I think, and I just don't know because I'm just useless, and like films and stuff are annoying because I'll ask Kirsty like what's happening here, and she's, I'm not telling you because you're not put your computer down. So I'm just like,
yeah, no, I think you're the same as me as well. Like it's so, as well as trying to work a normal job, doing what you do, it takes so much energy and so much time, and it's very difficult to switch off from it. And it can be really stressful, can't it, sometimes, and overwhelming. Like sometimes I'll have a really busy day and I don't look at Twitter, and then I'll go on in the evening and I've just got so many DMs and notifications and stuff. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to go take a walk before I deal with it, because I'm like really overwhelmed, and I'm very conscious about not burning myself out with it all and trying to.
What I found really good is just making sure, like I don't start work till 10. I do 10-8 still, like 4 days a week, so I get a day off in the week because I've moved my work shifts around a little bit. I don't start till 10, which is nice. I finish at 8, which is late, whatever, swings and roundabouts, but it gives me time to check my phone at morning when I'm like that. Oh shit, there's loads of stuff. Chuck my phone out of the way, good at gym, and just crack on, get some gym time, and then I come back to emails and I'm like, I'm ready to go type thing. So it's kind of like I found a good healthy pattern, I think, to deal with it all and deal with the workload, I think.
Yeah, that's good. And exercise is always a good way to start the day. I like getting out for a run in the morning. Like my days are very much different. If I don't go for a run in the morning, or I don't do any exercise, I'm not in the best of moods. I'm still in an okay mood, but if I get out for a run, it sets me up for the day, and I'm like, come on, let's do it. And I'm like, come on, this is it. We're starting the day the right way.
Does your head lie to you all the time? You say you don't have to go this time, Carl. There's no need, really. You know, just stay in bed. You're not going to need to go out this time. Does your head bullshit to you all the time?
Yeah, it does. But I normally, if I'm going out for a run, I'll put my gym kit on to go to sleep in. So when I wake up in the morning, I just get up and go.
Yeah. So you kind of like you get ready before your brain starts trying to convince you not to do stuff.
To be honest, I don't sleep very well, so I normally wake up about 2-3 times a night anyway, probably more, like every hour some nights. I wake up and I've been dreaming, and I go back. I think it's because I have busy minds. I think you can relate. I've got such a busy mind.
Oh, so
I don't sleep properly, so by the time my alarm goes off, I've already been awake about 6 times. So I'm like, right, I'm ready to get up now. But I always seem rested enough. I just think it's my brain just doesn't turn off.
I have it a lot. I think of like an email I haven't replied to, like at 3 in the morning or something. I just think, oh, I should have.
I know, I'm
Do
like
that.
that.
If I don't do it now, then I'll forget tomorrow. Then it's 3 o'clock in the morning. What even
You
thinking
know what
about
I found as well? People in the
it?
music industry,
Yeah.
very, very much over like middle of the night or night out or night people. Also, I'll get random emails from like promoters and stuff at like 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning. I'm like, we're all the same. We're all insomniacs.
They do really,
We're all
because
losing the plot. We're all
you just
losing
feel
our
like it's okay to send a message out at any time of day, and it's probably not fair on the person receiving it because it might wake them up or whatever. But there is a lot of that about, and it's like it is a bit 24/7. People don't realize how much of just how much of a how much people are just bothering you all the time.
Oh God, I've got all my notifications off, so I don't really get my notifications until I check now. I just like I couldn't deal with it. I've not got notifications for years,
Yeah.
so I just don't see until I log on or check or whatever. But yeah, it does its lot.
Is there anything more we or me can help you, Sunshiner, out this year with helping you do the stuff that you love doing? Because I think you put so much effort into supporting bands and stuff. I don't think, or I don't know if anybody's asked you if you need any help with anything.
Oh, that's really nice of you. No one really does, to be honest.
Yeah.
Very often.
Yeah.
I don't know really. If I as and when I need, that's also not very good at, is asking for help. Like I hate asking people to like retweet stuff for me. I feel so bad, even though I get asked to do it all the time. I'm always like, oh, I feel really guilty asking you to do it because it's like,
I've just asked you to help me share that BBC thing, Anna.
oh no, that's fine. I never, honestly, I never mind. I think it's when I'm like put a tweet out to say like, can everyone please share this? I always think, oh, I feel really guilty. I'm sorry to ask everybody. But no, we'll see what I'm going to be doing this year, because I've not really got, apart from a little radio show and obviously stuff with the Ras, that's kind of all in this background until next year. But certainly if because I know what I'm like, I end up doing extra things because I know what I'm like. I'm a sucker for it. So yeah, absolutely. And you've got a massive following as well, so likewise for you.
You still feel like even though we've built up a few followers on all the socials and things, it still feels like you're still pissing in the wind a bit.
Yeah, it does for me as well.
I just wonder how many of those are like robots.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Do you think Elon Musk is going to sort Twitter out?
It's gone all weird, hasn't it? Like I've changed, when you go onto the timeline, if you on the homepage, if you click on following rather than for you, all your followers tweets that, but it's definitely changed. Like I don't see as much on my timeline as I used to.
Oh, okay. Is that a good or a bad thing?
I don't know really. I don't know. It's all random stuff that comes in. Well, I follow like 21,000 accounts, so it's always been a bit wild on my timeline, so anything could pop up. But yeah, I get like loads of motivation pages and stuff now, and yeah, just random things.
I've found, because I signed up to that Twitter Blue thing for our gem.
Yeah,
and you can follow other verified accounts, because that's all it is. It just puts a blue tick side of your name, really. But I found that it shows you more credible bits of information online. Because
you found it useful then.
Yeah, so I've kind of like that seems all right. I'm sure I like what Elon Musk is doing to the world. I think so. I think it will.
Yeah, I've always quite liked Elon Musk, to be honest. I think he's,
Who else has built all this fleet of cars? He's building cars that go underground, so people don't have to have traffic anymore. He's building rockets into space to put internet into the sky, so people in third world countries can have the internet and have a better life. There's loads of positive things that people forget about and just think it's like an evil.
I like the way that he connects with. He does seem like kind of a real person, doesn't he? But yeah, no, I remember reading an article about him once, and he said about the design of Tesla. He said that one day, so basically he's trying to work with technology, because technology is just advancing and advancing. And he said one day technology is going to make a conscious decision, and then we've got to be worried. So he says that with the self-driving cars, there's going to come a time when a car is driving on the road and there's a little boy and an old lady, and the car's got to make a conscious decision as to which way is going to hit one of them, and then the car's going to decide. And he said, and that's when we've got to worry, when the technology goes and makes a decision. I always remember that, and I think, oh, that's kind of scary. But yeah, no, I think he's obviously so intelligent, and probably doing a lot more than we see.
I do enjoy Twitter. I've always enjoyed Twitter, good or bad and that kind of stuff. It's just it's a it's a place for opinions, isn't it? But not conversations.
Yeah, I try and stay away from the opinionated stuff.
Yeah, well, you retweet stuff I say, and I've got a bit of a gob on my Sambo.
No comment.
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. So, Elon Musk, what do you think about? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of topical things to think about now, Sambo. What do you think? Who else is in the news at the minute?
You watch the news. I
Go on, yeah.
find it so draining.
It is.
I watched
It is. You're
5 minutes
right.
and I'm like, oh God,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
The weather. At least it stopped raining today.
It
Did you know
snowed. It
apparently
snowed today in Manchester. Madness.
is it? Oh nice. Well, I was watching the weather forecast for our local news there, and apparently for between the 15th of December and the 16th of no, yeah, 15th of January, we had rain every single day. The first time that's happened in years.
It's not good.
Miserable, isn't it?
Not good for the hair, is it?
No, it's not. My hair needs doing. I've got roots, terrible.
Mine's just
Absolute
gone
mess.
grey, Sambo, so I need to get it sorted. And
I just shoved mine up to
bloody
it's just
old.
such a mess. Yeah, I definitely need a trip to the hairdressers
Is there
shortly.
is there anything coming up in your world that you'd like to shout about? Well, we'll obviously put the link to that Just Giving cause
Thank
like
you.
you talked about earlier. We'll put that in the podcast that people share about. But is there a message of positivity that you'd like to share with the people listening to our little podcast?
Uh,
Going into the new year.
yeah, so I just think if you haven't taken the plunge into the unsigned scene yet, then do so. There's so many amazing bands and artists. There's so many bands and artists that are going to be huge this year that I've been watching coming through as superstars. So get along to the grassroots gigs because they are the best. Like I went to Kasabian, the arena gig, and it was just so many people and it was just so crowded. If you get to the little gigs, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
And there's just so much going on all around the country. So that's my positive. Just get out there, go and have a little boogie with your mates, find something new, and your life will be much better.
What I think more people should do, instead of buying a ticket for Adele, go to 15 gigs for the same price in your
Oh
local
God, 1,000,000%. Yeah.
area. Do
Definitely.
that.
You should definitely. Because yeah, these gigs are like, wow, the Heavy North gig that I'm going to is free. It's
Oh,
free entry.
nice.
So
Is
it's a
that the
free
London
gig.
one?
Yeah, they're playing at the Old Blue Last in London, which I've not actually been to before, but I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, nice one, mate. Well, Sam Shiner, keep shining, mate.
I'll do my best, Carlos. Thank you so much for having me. It's been lovely to catch up.
You too, mate. You too, mate. Have you got much on for the rest of your evening today?
No, do you know what? What's the time now? Bedtime.
It's nearly Silent Witness.
Oh, is it?
It's
Do you know,
nearly Silent Witness.
do you know what I do of an evening? I'll probably watch a old rerun of Escape to the Country with a cup of tea,
Oh,
cup of chamomile tea
yeah.
to help me drift off to sleep. So I'll go and take my face off now.
Yeah.
And get in my pajamas and snuggle up with Lila and just watch some old granny program.
Oh, brilliant. Sam Shiner, mate. Thanks for joining us today and just keep being you. Cheers, mate.
Always a pleasure, Carl. You have a great week.
Thank you.